Welcome to TVAI, where we bring the world to your screen with sharp insights and clear analysis. Today, we take you deep into a rising storm, one that began with tariffs, but is now rippling through America's heartland, shaking the very foundation of U.S. agriculture. This is the story of how a trade war meant to protect American jobs is, in a stunning twist, devastating the lives of the very people it promised to defend. The U.S.-China trade war has entered a new and more dangerous phase. In April 2025, President Donald Trump reintroduced sweeping tariffs on hundreds of goods, triggering what many now call Liberation Day in U.S. trade policy. These tariffs, designed to punish foreign producers and reclaim American manufacturing, sent shockwaves through global markets. But the true economic earthquake is happening in places you wouldn't expect. The vast farmlands of the Midwest, the quiet agricultural towns of the South, and the family farms that feed America. Trump's new tariffs apply to over 180 countries, with China being the primary target. Chinese electronics, machinery, textiles, and most notably, food products, are now subject to high import duties. But China, as expected, has retaliated. And they've done it strategically. China has announced a fresh wave of tariffs on American agricultural goods: corn, soybeans, pork, beef, and dairy. These are not just any products. They represent the economic lifeline of thousands of U.S. farmers. And now, those farmers are facing financial ruin. At first glance, tariffs are a powerful tool. They can encourage domestic production, create new jobs, and shift the balance of trade. But in the intricate dance of global economics, actions have reactions. And in this case, the reaction from China is cutting deep. Let's talk numbers. Before the trade war reignited, China was the largest buyer of U.S. soybeans, importing over $14 billion worth annually. Today, those numbers have collapsed. Chinese buyers have turned to Brazil and Argentina to fill the void, leaving American soybeans piling up in silos with nowhere to go. Corn farmers are also feeling the sting. Export orders have been cancelled. Prices are falling. The cost of storing unsold crops is rising. Many are operating at a loss, relying on government subsidies just to keep their farms alive. In Iowa, a state where agriculture forms the backbone of the local economy, frustration is growing. Many farmers there voted for Trump, believing in his promise to protect American industries. Now they feel abandoned. "We're caught in the crossfire," one farmer says. "This trade war isn't hurting China, it's hurting us." It's a sentiment echoed across farm states. The hope that tariffs would revive American industry has been replaced by anxiety, uncertainty, and in some cases, anger. But the damage doesn't stop at the farm gate. The ripple effects are spreading. Small rural towns that rely on agriculture are facing economic slowdowns. Equipment dealers are selling fewer tractors. Feed stores are seeing fewer customers. Local banks are tightening loans. Families are cutting back. The pain is real, and it's local. Meanwhile, the global economy is adjusting. China, in response to the U.S. pressure, is accelerating its trade relations with Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. It is investing in alternate markets, shifting supply chains, and doubling down on food self-sufficiency. Ironically, the trade war meant to isolate China is pushing it to become more independent and less reliant on the United States. American farmers are not just losing profits, they are losing long-term market share. Once trust is broken, trade partners don't always return. Relationships built over decades are being undone in a matter of months. The White House argues that these short-term sacrifices are necessary for long-term gain. Officials claim the tariffs will eventually lead to a more balanced trade relationship, with fairer rules and stronger American industry. But many economists are skeptical. They warn that prolonged uncertainty could permanently weaken U.S. agriculture's standing on the global stage. The Biden-era strategy of diplomacy and negotiation has been replaced by confrontation and unilateral pressure. Some see this as strength. Others see it as recklessness. Within Congress, debates are heating up. Lawmakers from rural states are pushing back against the tariff strategy, calling for relief packages, emergency subsidies, and a re-evaluation of the administration's trade goals. They argue that national strength should not come at the cost of rural collapse. As the 2026 midterm elections approach, rural voters may play a decisive role. Will they continue to support a president whose policies have shaken their livelihoods? Or will economic hardship shift the political map? But one thing is clear. This trade war is not just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about real people, families, communities, the backbone of America's food system. What began as a bold economic maneuver is now spiraling into a domestic crisis. But even beyond the numbers and market charts lies another consequence. One that's harder to quantify, but just as damaging: trust. Trust between farmers and their government. Trust between trading nations. Trust in the future of global trade stability. Many farmers now say they feel like pawns in a political game far beyond their control. They work from dawn to dusk, battling unpredictable weather, rising input costs, and market volatility, only to see their efforts undone by decisions made in Washington and Beijing. Some describe the situation as economic whiplash. One year booming, the next year collapsing, without any sense of long-term stability. A Kansas wheat farmer told TVAI, "We didn't ask for this war. We didn't start it. But we're the ones paying the price. My grandfather survived the Dust Bowl. My father survived the farm crisis of the 1980s. I don't know if I'll survive this." In response, the US government has rolled out emergency financial aid for farmers. Tens of billions of dollars in subsidies and support programs. But for many, it's not enough. These payments may keep the lights on for now, but they don't offer a clear path forward. They don't reopen lost markets or rebuild broken trade relationships. And they certainly don't inspire confidence. Meanwhile, American consumers are also starting to feel the pinch. As supply chains shift and global prices fluctuate, grocery costs are climbing. Imported goods are more expensive. Domestically produced food, ironically, is sometimes harder to find. Inflation, already a concern, is being fueled by the very policies that were supposed to create stability. The logistics sector is also in flux. Ports are backed up. Warehouses are overwhelmed. Shipping companies are adjusting routes, and small importers are struggling to adapt to the new costs. This instability creates bottlenecks, not just in trade, but across entire industries. Meanwhile, China continues to adapt. It's not just turning to other trading partners, it's investing heavily in domestic agriculture, automation, and renewable energy. Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative is creating new economic corridors in Africa, Central Asia, and Europe, reducing dependence on Western markets altogether. The question we must all ask is, at what cost? Thanks for watching TVAI. Don't forget to subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe these tariffs will ultimately benefit America? Or are we sacrificing too much in pursuit of uncertain gains? Stay critical and stay connected.